Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Guapish Rule 34. As always, I am your main anchor, Nico, and today I am transitioning over to Tanner with sports.
That's right, folks. They're out there on the field, giving it their all. They're bleeding, they're puking, they're fucking coming all over the field, and I just can't wait to watch them bounce those balls all over the fucking place.
Haha, sounds exciting, Tanner. Can't wait to catch up on that on my DVR tonight. Anyway, now we're going on over to Jackson with the weather over in his goon cave.
Oh my god, I just saw somebody get picked up by a fucking tornado. They're dead. They're dead. They just died in the tornado. They got hit by a car, a piece of shrapnel.
Oh, shit.
Oh, what's happening in your goon cave, dude?
It's very exciting in here.
Would you guys ever consider storm chasing?
No.
Fuck no.
Do you think there are any storm chasers where it's like a sexual fetish for them? Like they get off on watching tornadoes?
Almost certainly, I would say. In fact, I believe 100% of them do, in fact, get off. They just pop off the moment they see a tornado land and just destroy a family of four's home.
Is it like an adrenaline thing? What's the reason for them doing that? They're just like seeing like the big cool thingamabob?
I think they do it as a job. Like they get paid to do that shit. Like
I thought it was just like a hobby.
No, I think what they do is that they like film it and then they sell the footage to like news stations and shit.
What if you're wrong about that though?
If I'm wrong, then yeah, I guess that's crazy. How much do you think one of those storm chaser cars costs though?
A lot of money. They've got a bunch of cinder blocks in it to not get picked up by a fucking tornado, of course.
I imagine the deductible on those things are gonna be insane.
Let's see, how much does a storm chaser car cost? Because like they gotta be armored. They have all this like high-tech fucking storm equipment on it. Tornado intercept vehicle? What in the fuck? I'm not finding a quick answer. Oh well.
We're already off to a rough start with the Googling.
Wait, here we go. $80,000. That doesn't sound too bad, actually.
Dude, that's like more than a Ferrari would cost you.
Do you think a tornado car gets good gas mileage?
Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah.
They got those new hybrid ones coming out recently. They're sweeping the nation with their 30 miles per gallon.
Hybrid storm chaser cars. Mm-hmm. They can harness the lightning to power themselves. That'd be fun.
The more pressing question here, though, do you guys think he would actually end up constructing a goon cave at any point?
No.
Just like the general idea of what a man cave is?
Like a goon cave, dude. You know about goon caves.
He's talking about masturbation right now, Jackson.
Oh, you guys seen that one video where it's like the cum rooms, like a dude that interviews, or like not like interviews, but like finds some random chick on Omegle, and she's in like the masturbatory room where it's just a chair and like purple lights. It's weird. One of those? No, I don't think so. I'm not that degenerate.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, I haven't peaked that much in life.
You're getting there, though, Jackson. I've seen you starting to stock up on mason jars recently, which has been a little worrying, but...
Stop digging into my habits.
Alright, so this is something that's really hit gaming news recently, that unfortunately Dylan is not here for, that Jackson's wondering about. Have you guys heard about the recent Destiny controversy?
No.
Alright, so, check it out, boys, check it out. Apparently, they just laid off, like, a shitload of their staff, including a lot of their senior developers and stuff like that. Like, one of the people there worked on their fucking, like, Destiny soundtrack, not specifically Destiny, but just, like, Bungie in general, their soundtrack for, like, 20 years now. And they just laid him off. Like, dude who was famous for constructing the ever-popular Halo soundtrack and shit like that, you know?
What's his name? Mike Donnell or some shit?
Some shit. I don't fucking know exactly. But,
I was about to say Mac Miller.
Mac Miller, yeah. But yeah, they just laid off a ton of their people, leading up to the launch of, like, their final fucking DLC or whatever the fuck. And, yeah, so apparently, one of the big reasons for this is that, when they got fucking acquired by Sony or whatever, typically something that happens with those sort of big acquisitions is that the company will, like, you know, start to distribute, like, a bunch of, like, fucking shares and shit like that of the company to their developers and stuff like that, people who work at the company. And apparently in this situation, they had, like, given a lot more shares to the people who've been with the company a lot longer. However, if those employees end up leaving the company, the shares just, like, get fucking reimbursed right back to the company. And... that includes if they get fired. So they just fired. Yeah, they just fired a shitload of their people so they could get that shit back.
There's no way that's like 100% accurate.
Dude, it's 100%, man. You can look into it yourself, Buster.
That sounds way too fantastical, let's say, to be true.
What do you
Honestly,
mean fantastical?
I'd believe it, honestly.
I don't know. I just feel like Bungie doesn't have the reputation of doing stuff like that.
Well, now they do.
And why would they even need to if they now, like, they're owned by Sony? They don't have to worry about their own finances at all. So, like, why would they do that?
Corporate greed, Tanner. Corporate greed. They're an increasingly greedy company. So previously they're owned by like EA or whatever the fuck, or Activision. I don't know which one it was. But during that time, a lot of their like really scummy decisions that they were making were just like blamed on them, EA, Activision, whoever the fuck it was. And, you know, people give them the benefit of the doubt because, like, it's Sony. We love their games. Of course they would never do anything wrong. And now that they split from that company, they have just become increasingly far more greedy. And there really isn't any way to, like, really try and, you know, back them up on this at this point. Except for the people who are, like, you know, really hardcore Destiny fanboys. Like, hang on, guys. They're giving us a really solid game here. We gotta trust them. Like, let's give them all our money. Like, why not, man? Why not?
I want the Dylan perspective on this scenario.
I mean, more than likely what I was gonna say is, like, yeah, I don't really like the recent things that they've been doing, but I get it's only 1 year left of this, and then I don't have to endure it anymore.
Endure it?
Yeah.
Do you think he actually quits Destiny?
No.
I mean, he probably will, but he'll just hop on some other bullshit live service game afterward.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
Let's get him into that Lego MMO.
There's a Lego MMO?
Yeah, dude, I don't remember what it's fucking called, but...
Lego Worlds.
I have a feeling it didn't last very long.
I don't think it did either.
I thought Lego Worlds was just like a Minecraft Lego thing.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
an
Lego
MMO?
Universe.
There you go.
It lasted 2 years. Womp womp.
That seems to be the general lifespan of a lot of MMOs.
Yeah.
Unless they're like good ones.
Yeah, unless they're like really good ones. Dude, like fucking World of Warcraft, I love that shit. I've been logging in recently. I've recently gotten the World of Warcraft train. I love that shit, dude. I like, Torbjorn. He's in that, right? I like him. I like Torbjorn. I like the Lich King. Is he a character?
Maybe.
I like Mercy. She's pretty cool. And the Shadow Stalker. I love the Shadow Stalker. He's pretty sweet. He has like big sword knife things. They like extend from his arms. He looks really cool. I think he's a vampire, maybe.
Have you considered the fact you're not talking about an MMO right now?
Dude, I like that you can play as a panda.
No way, you can play the panda.
You sure can, dude.
That's freaking crazy.
Also, the panda's name is Chen.
No, your panda doesn't have to be named Chen, Tanner.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Heroes of the Storm.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Why'd you mention Mercy?
Mercy's in World of Warcraft.
I thought you were talking about Overwatch.
He was just mentioning a bunch of Blizzard characters, so I thought he was talking about Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you think Mercy from Heroes of the Storm is more popular than Mercy from Overwatch? Which is also
They're the
Is
same
that
fucking
what you
character.
think, Tanner? Do you honestly believe that, dude?
No, shut the fuck up! It's the same character in both the games!
Then why would you comment on Heroes of the Storm? That's impossible.
Because he was
compared
saying
to Overwatch.
characters from multiple different Blizzard games, and Heroes of the Storm has characters from a bunch of different Blizzard games!
Oh, fair enough. I don't know anything
You
about
fucking
that shit.
retard!
I'm sorry. I literally don't know anything about Heroes of the Storm other than it just being some fucking shitty Dota 2 clone that nobody plays.
Hey, it was fun.
That is exactly what it is. It's a Dota 2 clone that just has characters from a bunch of different fucking
Blizzard.
I was about to say fucking WoW games.
I didn't even know that. I thought it was just some generic fucking MOBA. I didn't even know it was like a Blizzard thing.
Yeah, I played
Listen, they had a character where two people played the same guy.
Yeah.
It was one body with two players controlling it.
which I thought was pretty sweet.
It was, but also that character fucking sucked, because now you have two people who have to stay together in the same location at all times.
Yeah, there's also another character where like they would just stay in base at all times, but they would like buff they would just like target one of their allies and just like buff them with a shitload of stuff.
Right,
They had some
yeah.
really unique ideas in that game, but you know.
That game, they really kind of... I'm almost impressed at the thought they put into it, where they were like, listen, we're not gonna compete with Dota or League, so let's, well, at least not compete with them in a very direct way by doing just the same thing they're doing, but our way. So we're just gonna throw a bunch of off-the-wall crazy shit in here, like the way different modes play in maps, and like they did a bunch of unique stuff to see if it would catch on. And sadly it didn't, but I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I played a little bit just because you get like a few Overwatch skins. Like there was one for Diva that made her a cop. It got her in that like really cute like little cop outfit that the Korean like women police officers wear. I love it. I'm a big fan. When I was in Japan, I also saw like one of them cute female officers there. Like when I initially was in the airport, and she just looked so adorable. I couldn't.
You should have hit on her.
Konnichiwa desu.
I was like, I couldn't imagine her actually doing anything if I committed a crime right now.
Right, yeah.
I couldn't take her seriously. But at the same time, like, you know, I kind of have to take her seriously because Japanese law there is, like, really fucking serious, especially for foreigners. You don't want to commit a crime in Japan, dude.
Yeah, don't they have, like a 99% conviction rate down there?
Yeah, there was a YouTuber recently over in Japan who's just like a total fucking asshole. He just constantly was doing like really shitty stuff over there. Like he would just fucking like try and sneak onto like trains and stuff like that, or like ask for people for like money, just like bothering them and stuff like that, just like shouting on trains and shit like that. And yeah, they eventually arrested him for just like disturbing the peace or whatever, and he's just been like in holding for like a couple months now or something like that.
Let's go.
Now let me posit this question to you, Nico, since you've been to the country. I am taller, heavier, and stronger than 99.9% of Japanese people.
Mm-hmm.
Could I just go there and do whatever I want and the police would not be able to stop me?
I mean, they still have guns.
They do?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got like police-issued revolvers. It's like it's a whole fucking ordeal. They have to like mark when they shoot and stuff, and it's like this whole shtick. But you know they've got.
There's a lot of bureaucracy with it. They have to like write a letter to the mayor first to see if they can actually use it on you and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
like
Interesting.
it takes a couple weeks to like really hear back from them. So like by the time that happens, you're probably long gone at that point. But you know, at least they'll have the proper paperwork to really know that they can shoot you on site now.
Yeah, they actually have to fax the Emperor of Japan a letter of approval for being able to shoot somebody or not.
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as I'm fast about it, I could take over the country unarmed.
Potentially.
I'd like to see you try.
I think I could pull this off in Britain, too.
Dude, they have knives, though.
I think they just throw acid in your face.
Only the
and you'd be
people
done.
do, though. All I need to do is lead a populist revolution, get the people on my side, and then the cops can't do anything to stop me because I am too strong and American.
Dude, do you really think you could fend off a police officer with one of them billy clubs?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see that video this week of that MMA guy that got attacked by a knife-wielding maniac and he fucking boom right on the ground?
No?
And then he fucking killed him.
Oh, Jesus.
No, he didn't kill him.
Okay. He should have, though. He deserved it.
Yeah, true. If you come at me at a knife, I owe you nothing. Now, guys.
Yeah, you go.
When we started this episode, I decided I wanted to do one of our very old Guapish topics that's been sitting there for a while that I think we can just do right now, because why not? Because we have the most experience with this since Dylan isn't here.
Yeah.
And that is the Bigotry tier list.
Holy shit.
I've got for us 15 different forms of bigotry.
Okay.
And I want us to rank them.
Okay.
Because why not?
How exactly are we going to be ranking bigotry?
My default presumption is we'll rank them based on which ones are funniest.
Okay.
Which I think is probably the safest way to go about it, too.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm pretty down with that.
So I have a list of 15 phobias here thanks to Quora.com. Let's just start with one that I think we probably haven't heard of, which is gerontophobia, which is a hatred or fear of elderly/old people. Now,
I'm personally not a big fan of that one. I don't think it's
honestly,
that funny.
To me, the idea of someone walking around with a deep-seated hatred of the elderly is very funny.
Especially because they are going to become what they hate at some point.
Yes, see? It's got irony, too.
I don't think it's that funny, because that just sounds like every fucking typical like college student who's like getting way too progressive, you know? They're just like, oh man, I'm so excited about COVID, because that means all the old people are gonna die now. Which is something I legitimately heard when I was going to college and COVID was first starting. Those people changed their tune pretty quickly once like quarantine started and shit, and they're like, I really think that everyone should be, like, wearing a mask and stuff like that. Like, oh, I need to save my grandma, even though I just said I wanted her dead.
Right.
So I'm personally not a big fan of that one. I don't think it's that funny.
You're not. I probably am not a fan of the actual people who possess this bigotry.
It's more so
bigotism.
the idea that you're a fan of.
Yeah, the idea, I like it.
Okay. Huh. Similar to like authoritarianism, sounds pretty cool in concept, but the people who've practiced it itself have not been pretty cool.
Yeah, much like Islam.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how about Islamophobia? How do we feel about Islamophobia?
A little overblown, I must say. Not that funny.
Yeah, I'd say not very funny either.
Yeah.
Warranted, but not very funny.
Damn it, Tanner, you made me laugh a little bit. I have to move it up a rank.
What are the ranks?
What are the ranks here,
I think
Tanner?
we're doing them relative to each other.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. So, I would absolutely put it over old people phobia.
I wouldn't, actually.
Really?
I wouldn't either, so...
Oh, okay.
Fuck, now I have to spell in real time. Okay, let's see. What's another one? What's the next one we can do? How about, let's do ableism.
Pretty funny, not gonna lie. Definitely
bigotry
higher
against
than
people with disabilities.
That's 100% higher than either of the other ones we have so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like, people with cleft palates, fuck you.
Also, like, I feel like ableism usually takes the form of, like... In real life, it really takes the form of hatred. I guess there's Hitler. So, never mind. I guess, like, real ass, just someone walk around like fucking people in wheelchairs. God damn it, those fuckers. They get the closest spots to the goddamn Walmart. Fuck! That is pretty funny, I guess.
You could just be like Jackson, though, and park in those handicap spots anyway.
Be like me.
Does he do that?
Yeah, they're the safest spots for, like, his sports cars and shit like that.
I don't want anybody door dinging me, of course.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Let's go with one that's in the news right now. Anti-Semitism.
Not very funny, I would say. Not super funny. Well,
This
more
one's
funny than old people and Islamophobia.
Yeah, this one's
Really?
a classic to me. I'd put this under ableism.
Huh.
It's absolutely under ableism, but it's 100% above the other two.
I agree it's a classic. Personally, I don't find anti-Semitism too funny. I think it's a bit too widespread, a bit too played out. And honestly, call me a hipster, it's getting a bit too popular nowadays. I'm just not into it.
Take this guy back to the 1940s and he's changed his tune.
This is where I insert a compilation of Tanner being an anti-Semite.
We could insert a compilation of me being any of these things, frankly, but...
I have to put it at least above gerontophobia just because I call people Jews so often.
You do. You call people Jew all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a big part of my vocabulary.
So far, this list is alphabetic.
That's fun.
Aye. What's the next one we should do? Let's do... Fuck it, let's do the big one. Let's do racism.
Pretty good, dude. It's pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
Racism is...
It's pretty
just-
funny, bro. It's pretty funny.
I think racism... I don't think anything tops racism, to be completely honest.
I think...
Interesting.
fucking... I don't know why I'm blanking on its name right now. Oh, homophobia, that's what it is. I 100% think homophobia can top racism. It'll be a tough battle, but personally,
yeah.
I find that more funny.
You'd have to convince me on that one, because racism... Everybody, you know, has a race. You can only make fun of so many gay people. Racism really is just like a very widespread form of bigotry because you can be racist towards anybody in various ways. It's just, it's, I don't know, there's a word I'm thinking of. It's so flexible, you know?
Yeah. In an ironic way, it actually unites us.
Yeah.
Everybody's racist a little bit.
I think that's fucked up if you can't make fun of somebody because of their race, you know?
Where's the passion anymore?
Exactly, dude.
Where's the love, man? Let's do... How about another one I've never heard of? And let's see if I can fucking pronounce this. Ephibophobia, which is hatred or fear of young people or youth.
I mean, hating
Not very
on
funny,
youth,
seems kind of cringe.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's boring. I think it's at the bottom.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it at the bottom. I think it's over hating on old people.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
Do
this
you
one
think
is
it's
the most
over
boring.
Islamophobia, though?
Yeah, I definitely think that hating on young people is much funnier than hating on Islamic folks.
I guess. Like, if we're talking... Okay. I guess, like, I enjoy making fun of younger Zoomers, I suppose. I think making fun of old people is a bit funnier, though.
I don't know, man. I disagree. I definitely prefer making fun of those kids with, like, the broccoli haircut over people who are, like, going to be breaking a hip, like, whenever they try and pick something up.
Damn. You're giving me a lot to think about. What are you thinking, Jackson?
I'd put it in between Dronophobia and Islamophobia.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you, Jackson, so we're going to put it there.
Fair.
Biphobia. Crazy. Alright, what's next on the list? We have got... Let's do one relevant to the people in this room. Biphobia. Hatred or fear of bisexual people.
I don't think it's that funny, man. I just don't think it's that funny because it's just so much more. It's so much better to just call them gay instead of like calling them bi. You know, like if I say that Tanner, you're bisexual, that means nothing. If I say you're fucking gay, that's way better.
Yeah, I think that one's super weak.
Yeah, all of the funniest parts of biphobia, really, they also fall under homophobia. I think it's a bit too niche to be very funny.
Yeah.
I do think... Do I? I don't... Do I think it's funnier than Islamophobia, though?
Aren't bi people like the laughing stock of the gay community, and then like from the non-gay community's perspective, they're just like the most normal of all of them?
Yeah, we don't fit in anywhere. We're very oppressed, which is the biphobia.
Only the men, though. The women are fine.
Only the men.
Yeah, for real.
Well, they say it's biphobia that women, they like, don't get taken seriously, and they're just like, you're just straight and showing off, or what. But whatever the fuck, who cares? I don't need to get into the fucking queer dialogues with you two.
Which, like, it's true, though. That is true.
It is true.
It's so true.
I don't think I've met a single woman who hasn't been bisexual so far.
The thing is... I can't think of any jokes that I personally would make about Islam, like, to an Islamic person. I can think of plenty of shit I'd say to bisexual people. So I think it's coming before Islamophobia for me.
Yeah, I definitely put it over Islamophobia.
Put it over it then. I'd say below for me.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do another one relevant to us, misandry, which is discrimination or hatred of men.
I don't think that hating on men is that funny.
The problem is, there's absolutely bucket loads of shit to make fun of men for, but the people who hold this bigotry don't use any of them. They make up bullshit that no one cares about.
Yeah. It's always just some weird bullshit about, like, the patriarchy.
When really they should make fun of how, like, we don't change our bed sheets often enough and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be funnier.
Guys, when was the last time you changed your bed sheets?
I sleep on an air mattress.
I don't know, like a week ago, if that.
Damn it, Jackson, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I think it's been, like, probably a few months for me right now.
My rule is always, I'll do it when I smell something.
Oh, okay.
I do it when I start getting acne on my face and
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's where we're putting it. I guess I'd put it above biphobia.
I think it's at the bottom for me.
The bottom? I wouldn't go that far.
I think I'd put it above biphobia as well.
Not misandry. Let's do the other side of the coin, though. Misogyny.
Hilarious, dude.
Very funny.
Holy shit. I'd put
Nobody could have seen this coming.
Like, right below racism, I would say.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I think I personally enjoy making fun of women more than making fun of minorities. And I think they deserve it more, too, so that makes it extra fun. So I'm gonna put misogyny above racism.
I would put it below racism.
Damn.
I think it's number 2 for me, though.
It's tragic.
I love making fun of women, man, but, you know, you could also make fun of their race at the same time.
Exactly.
I didn't spell that right. Wait, what the fuck? Gyny? That doesn't look...
That doesn't look right. That looks fucked up.
We also have sexism on here.
Let's just lump it in with misogyny.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. / sexism. Because, like, you know, it says sexism is based on sex, but, like, you know, we colloquially only use it to mean women.
Yeah.
Let's do heterophobia. Hatred or fear of heterosexual people.
You can't hear it, but I'm snoozing right now.
Yeah,
In a cartoonish fashion.
It's 50-50 for me. Because, like, a lot of gay people are pretty funny, and so they can do, oh, what's up with the straights jokes that, like, half the time are pretty funny, and then a lot of time it's not funny at all.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a joke based around straight people that I thought was actually... I would literally put those at the bottom of the list for myself.
Okay.
Yeah, like, what's up with ya straights? You feeling pretty normal today?
What's up with you 97% of the populations? How are you guys doing over there?
How's it
Hey,
feel
man.
having your family not disown you for who you like fucking? Pretty good, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that great. Yeah, I think I'd put it at the bottom as well.
Okay. I'd probably... personally, I think it's either above or below biphobia for me. It's about on par, I think, but below Islamophobia. Heterophobia. I feel like we're very woke by having Islamophobia so low.
Right?
Anyway, we're doing a great job. Let us do... What do we have left? Now, this one's kind of the same as two we've already done. Ageism. Now, let's turn ageism into more like bigotry based on generations. So like people hating on boomers or hating on millennials, that kind of thing. Let's look at it from that lens.
I would put it at, like, between dronophobia and ephobophobia.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Sounds good to me. Because, like, I enjoy a good zoomer joke. I enjoy a good millennial joke. I enjoy a good boomer joke. What we really need to do is make fun of those Gen X motherfuckers. They've been too safe for too long.
True.
How about the silent generation, though, dude? Why don't you
Aren't they
speak
all
up for
dead?
yourselves already? Yeah, stop being so fucking dead. Maybe if you weren't all dead, you wouldn't be so quiet, huh?
Let's do a classic homophobia.
Dude, it's at the very top, dude. That's S tier. We discussed
That
this
one's at the
already.
very top?
It's the very... I don't think that there's anything that can top homophobia, man.
I think homophobia is the number 2 for me. Right below racism.
I mean, based on this list, homophobia... I think based on this list, homophobia would be number 3 below misogyny. for
Ain't
me.
no way, dude.
So I think that's landing it at number 2 below racism.
Dude, there is nothing funnier than two guys having sex, okay? Like,
You might be able to convince me as I ruminate throughout the rest of this
Like,
list.
here's the thing,
I don't
Tanner.
think we have much left.
well, like, women being gay, it's not that funny.
No, not
But,
really.
like, male homosexuality, there's just nothing funnier to me, man.
It's pretty funny, yeah.
It's so funny.
Consider this. Black
Yes.
people.
Consider this, Jackson. Gay black people?
No freaking
Have you
way.
thought about that
That's
before?
it. That's
like, hang on a
ridiculous,
second here.
Impossible.
Two gangbangers banging it out? Come on, like,
Hey,
Okay.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. You might be able to change my mind when we're going over the list at the end. Let's do a newcomer to the bigotry Olympics: transphobia. Transphobia, probably the newest form of bigotry on here.
I think
And man-
transphobia is funny as hell.
It's made a big splash, man. It is a top contender in my opinion.
it's a tough one, man.
I don't think I'd put it above sexism. I think I'd put it above ableism, though.
It's definitely above ableism.
It's 100% above ableism. It's a tough one, though, man, because every time you throw out a trans joke, you gotta be prepared for the community to just fucking annihilate you.
Right, but isn't that part of the fun?
I guess so. Yeah, I think I'd put it, like, right below misogyny.
The reaction you get from them is so much better, though. I don't know. Women get pretty screamy about sexism nowadays.
Dude, Tanner, you yourself have had a pretty recent example of some of your sexist comments coming back to bite you, dude.
And you're right. That was very funny. I'll put it between sexism and ableism. Where would you stick it, Jackson?
That's the same thing as Nico, below misogyny.
Gotcha. Transphobia. Are we done yet? No. Okay, last one on this list. Xenophobia, hatred or fear of foreigners / other nationalities.
I don't think I'm super hot on xenophobia.
I think it can be pretty funny sometimes. I'd put it like between ableism and anti-Semitism, personally.
I mostly think about it in the context of, like, illegal immigrants in the U.S., so, like, the fucking jokes about the Mexican, like, workers type things.
Gotcha.
Which I think are pretty funny. I'd probably put it below anti-Semitism for myself.
Yeah, I'm probably with xenophobia, just making fun of people based on their nationality.
We do crack a lot of anti-French jokes and British jokes and shit.
That's where I'm coming from here. The British, the French.
Let me put it above anti-Semitism because it's all-encompassing as well as anti-Semitism.
There we go.
I think I agree with right above anti-Semitism. Let's do xenophobia. Okay, so do we want to shuffle this around at all?
No, it's perfect.
I'd like to see homophobia at number 1, but like...
Right.
You know it's not true.
Other than that, I think it's pretty perfect.
Yeah, I'm still holding true, saying that nothing comes close to racism.
Yeah, I think this is actually a pretty definitive list. So there you folks have it. The official bigotry tier list. Coming in at number 1, as many people would have guessed, racism, followed by homophobia, misogyny/sexism, transphobia, ableism, xenophobia, anti-Semitism, gerontophobia, ageism, ephemophobia, misandry, biphobia, Islamophobia, and heterophobia. Woo! I guess I'll take a pic of this so you can slap that in the episode or something.
Thank God. Thank you very much. I can't ever remember the fucking shortcut to screen clip something.
I usually just type in snip.
All right, excellent work, boys. So... before we move on to our very, very Academy Award-winning segment, Guapish at the Movies, I feel like there's one more thing. Like, since we're already in the hot seat, as is, dude, since we're already here, we may as well get, like, one more topic of conversation out of the way here, since, like, you know, Dylan isn't here, and he'd absolutely try and get us away from something like this. How are you guys feeling about incest, you know?
Like, as a genre, or, like, in real life?
No, like, real life, dude, real life.
I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest.
Like, maybe not you personally, okay? Like, let's distance ourselves from that. Like, us personally, but like, just in general.
Is this because when we were watching, I don't even remember which movie, we came to find out that it's apparently far more common than any of us would have predicted?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, there's been that big hot incest video game that's been hitting the market recently, and people have been really into it, so... I figure if it's on everybody's mind, we may as well get it out of the way, dude.
I think I've got I don't really know how controversial this is. I think dating within the family is weird, because you, like, grew up with these people. That's weird as shit. Mm-hmm. Cousins, though, I don't think it's that weird, honestly. Like, obviously, there's, like, birth defects and shit that can happen with that, but I don't know anything about, like, most of my cousins, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And I could see that being a pretty common occurrence. So, like, you could just, like, happenstance just, like, start dating your cousin by accident. I don't think it's that weird, to be completely honest.
Okay.
In, like, media and things, it's super popular for some reason. I think it's kind of hot in porn. I don't know why. That's just me. So I'm pretty lukewarm over.
Now, I consume a reasonable amount of incest porn as well. I will say it strictly restricts to the realm of fantasy for me. I'm not down with incest at all. I think it's weird and gross.
But why is that, Tanner? Why is that?
Don't we have like an ingrained genetic thing to incest because that's our body trying to stop us from fucking creating Quasimodo kids or whatever?
All right, consider this hypothetical, Tanner. You are going out with a girl and you think she's fucking hot, she's perfect, she's everything you love. After 6 months of dating her, you find out that she actually is in fact your second cousin. Is this a turnoff? Do you stop being in a relationship with them even though you're, like, madly in love with her?
Second cousin. So let's see. Second cousin would be like the daughter of the son of the father of my father's brother. Wait.
It doesn't. The specifics don't matter. They're in the family, relatively close to you.
Do I know?
You find this out 6 months into it.
No. I'm gonna say, do I know the family member to which she is connected to me?
Yeah, sure. That's how you find out.
Yeah, that's weird as fuck. Cause like that'd be me finding out from like a great uncle or some shit. He's like, oh, that's my fucking daughter or something, whatever. Nah, no.
Okay, Tanner, a second hypothetical here for you. Okay, so let's say they're dating this great girl, okay? You're really into her. But then your mom, she drops on you a bombshell. Your father is not your real biological father. You, in fact, got a sperm donor because your father was incapable of conceiving you, okay? And then you later find out that this girl who you've been dating for 2 years now, 2 years, she also got a sperm donor as her father, and it is in fact the same man, Tanner. Do you continue to date this woman?
In that specific instance, I don't have a huge problem, to be honest.
You have the same father, bro.
What about the fucked up incest babies?
I feel like the risk is not that high in that instance.
Why do you think that?
Well, I don't know. Does it take only one incesting for fucked up shit to happen? I thought there has to be a couple of generations where you're just like in a fucking circle.
I don't know.
Tanner, why are you even so concerned about like the fucked up babies as a result of this? What's up with that, dude?
What? Why would I not be concerned?
Well, I mean, like, are you concerned about, like, let's say people with, like, really severe developmental disorders? Like, if they have a child, and they have, let's say if they have a much higher likelihood of creating a child who also has, like, severe birth defects, would you be opposed to them having children?
No.
Why not?
I mean,
Those sound like the same circumstance, man.
I think for me personally, I would want to avoid having a fucked up child to the greatest extent possible because I would want my child to have the greatest like quality of life possible.
But like, let's remove you from the equation specifically, Tanner. Would you be opposed to two related people fucking and creating an incest baby, dude?
Like specifically incest, or they're just fucked up?
Yeah, it's an incest baby, dude.
Yeah, I'm opposed to that.
But you're not opposed to two like crippled people who have like developmental disorders having a baby.
I mean, can they care for it on their own, or is this going to become a burden to society?
Yeah, let's say that they can care for it.
No, I guess I'm not opposed to that.
But why is that?
I think it'd be a little fucked up of them if they're, like, going into it like, there's a very reasonable chance that our child is going to be really fucked up. But also, like, obviously, if they're having kids, they've found a way to deal with their disability, so maybe I shouldn't judge them like that.
These sound like very similar circumstances, though, Tanner. Both of them are going to result in, like, a fucked up child. But why are you opposed to one of them and not the other?
I think incest is gross, that's why.
This feels a little arbitrary, man. I feel like maybe...
No. I think, I think I think it's fair to say that we have sort of an innate sense of right and wrong, and most people correctly feel that incest is gross, and therefore it's wrong, and we don't really need to have some highfalutin justification for it.
But why is it wrong, Tanner?
Just because...
Nico, you haven't even given your fucking justification on this question yourself. What do you think, boy?
Well, here's the thing, you see. So I am against incest, okay? I want to get that one out here right now. I know it sounds like I've been defending it a fair bit, but I'm very much so against it. However, I am also for eugenics. I think that this instance of the two fucked up people having a baby, I don't think we should allow that. I feel like we should get in there and stop it from happening. However, here's the problem with that. I can't, like, well, in theory, that does sound like a good idea. Like, we don't want to create a bunch of fucked up children.
I think in theory it sounds like a bad idea.
I think in theory it sounds like a great idea. Because, like, we don't want to, like, create all these fucked up children, dude. That's terrible. Like, we're just disabling them for life. What's up with that? That's screwed up. We really shouldn't be doing something like that. However, I really can't think of, like, a good way of, like, actually enforcing that.
That's why I think it's terrible in theory. There's no reasonable way of stopping that isn't fucked up.
Have you considered it a slippery slope?
It is a very slippery slope, Like, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
Like, we look at fucking Denmark that's, like, eliminated Down syndrome from their population.
Yeah.
And no one says, oh, cool, there's less fucked up kids in that country now. We all look at it and say, damn, that's kind of fucked up of them.
Why is that fucked up, Tanner?
Well, because it's eugenics. And most people agree that eugenics is inherently kind of fucked up.
I don't know, man.
I think that's mostly just because Hitler put it in a bad light, I think if Hitler wasn't trying to do all that eugenics shit, people would probably be more chill with it overall.
It's making a big comeback at the very least.
Tanner, would you prefer to have a Down syndrome baby?
No.
Then what's fucked up about them eliminating it?
Well, because the way they're doing it is by killing them after they already exist.
Is that how they do it?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Never mind.
That's awful.
I was gonna say, it sounds pretty admirable if they were able to accomplish something like that, but if they're fucking killing them
they eliminate
after
Down
they're already
syndrome
born?
No, they eliminate No, not after they're born. They're doing it with abortion.
Oh, gotcha. That's still pretty fucked up.
Yeah. It's literally just like parents... Because they can do a test in utero to see if the kid will be born with Down syndrome. These tests are not 100% accurate,
I was gonna
by
say,
the way.
I'm pretty sure those tests are like not 100% accurate at all.
That's even worse. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, that's really fucked up. I know that
So,
when I was
It's just so socially accepted in, I believe it's Denmark, where they're just like, yeah, this one probably has Down syndrome. They're like, well, fucking, we'll try again. Scramble that thing.
That's
I don't know
horrible.
how old it has to be to detect Down syndrome either. Mm-hmm. I imagine there has to be some brain development in order to tell if it has Down syndrome, right?
Yeah, presumably. I know that when my mom was pregnant with me, they said that I was likely going to have like some like major birth defects or something like that. And she was like, no, I'm going to keep him. And I'm totally fine, except for him arguing for eugenics. I know. I'm a monster.
That's right, yeah. You're... I don't know if there are any of these people. I imagine there's someone out there where they're like one of those kids that survived an abortion and then turns into like a pro-abortion activist. Mm-hmm. That person probably exists out there.
Yeah, more than likely. I
Probably
lost
more
the
common
thread
than
here.
we
I
think.
definitely had more I
What
wanted to
were
say.
we talking about?
I don't remember.
Incest.
We went to Denmark, and that's where things got pretty dicey.
You brought up eugenics. I blame you.
That's because I'm for it in theory if we were able to perfect it and nothing could possibly go wrong because of it.
If we could pull off eugenics without using any of the methods necessary to do eugenics.
Exactly. If we could just find a
You're
moral way
you're
of
basically
going
just
about
saying
it.
you like the idea of having a healthier population.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Have you guys considered that people with crippling disabilities can still be happy and live fulfilling lives?
That's what I said.
I'm not so sure about that, Tam. We need to roll back
We're
the
not
tape
even
here.
none of the disabilities we've mentioned are even all that crippling.
What about like severe Down syndrome, dude?
But I don't know.
I think that's pretty crippling.
Is it crippling?
Yeah.
I think they can still feed themselves.
What's your what's a stopping point here for it being crippling, Tanner?
I mean, to me, if you can walk and feed yourself, then you're not. It's not like a crippling disability.
Jackson, what say you on that?
I don't have a say.
Bummer.
It's impossible to say, frankly.
Maybe if maybe if it was like an opt-in sort of thing, like, hey, we've done some screening. We believe that you have like a much higher likelihood of like delivering some offspring that won't be like, that won't be super kosher. So how about this? We'll give you $10,000 to get castrated, and then you'll be good to go. Like, does that sound reasonable?
Wait. Castrated?
Not castrated. Just like just get your balls snipped a little bit,
For only $10,000? No.
I mean, like, there are going to be a lot of people who want to do this, man. Like, we can't make it like too crazy.
Oh, you're saying like we make that program? Like that's
Yeah.
the offer?
Yeah, exactly.
No. We're already at negative like population growth. I don't think we should be doing anything to encourage less child rearing than already exists.
Tanner, if you consider the existence as pain, and the by being born, that itself is like really fucked up, and we probably like shouldn't even be giving birth to anyone anymore.
No, that's false. Because like existence is that's fucking cringe. Existence is everything. That's what the thing is. You can't say it's just the one thing because existence is all of the things. That's what existence is.
But Tanner, I got my heart broken in high school, so I don't want to live anymore. Did you consider that?
Go to the gym.
Work out, dude. Work on yourself. Come on.
Go work on yourself. Jesus Christ. Get over it. She wasn't even that hot.
Alright, so I think the Guapish can definitively say we are against incest, guys. We're against incest. We've really put that one in the bed now at this point.
Yeah.
However, pro-eugenics. I feel like that's a solid...
I feel like we didn't... I feel like there wasn't a consensus on that one.
We are pro-eugenics, assuming that it's we're able to like really polish it out, make sure that there's zero back...
If you can kind of just put out vibes that make it so that children are only born totally cool, then yeah, we'll do it that way.
There we go.
We're vibe eugenics, you know. We're not with like the killing or the fucking sterilization or whatever, but we're with the vibes.
Exactly.
You know?
Do you guys like genetically modified babies?
No,
Yes.
I'm not. I'm not about that.
Damn.
Mm-mm.
Well, Tanner,
Matter of fact, I'd probably be willing to kill those people if a fucking adult walked up to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm a genetically modified human. I'm like 3 times smarter and 4 times faster than a human being is supposed to be." I would kill them on the spot because that's demon shit.
Okay,
I'm not about that.
all right, so Tanner, let's say we don't like, you know, make them like, you know, more powerful or anything like that than a normal human. We're just able to like, you know, make it so that they're like immune to diseases. Is that okay?
I don't like it.
What's wrong with that?
This is some like Jurassic Park bullshit. I don't think it's gonna work out.
They're gonna rise up.
Tanner, are you saying that you are for children getting cancer?
Yes.
Guapish at the movies!
No,
No, we can't do that one anymore, you son of a bitch! We banned that song!
What's a
Fuck
song
you,
they had
Tanner, we
in
banned that
in the
song, we can't
Martian?
do it anymore!
I was doing no, that wasn't Jurassic. That was Freebird because they played that one in The Big Short, I think.
They played it in one of the
Jackson,
movies
what
we watched.
movies did we watch this week?
We watched some fantastic ones. 2 2015 movies. The first one being The Big Short, our Patreon.
They were
request for
both
this week.
2015.
Yeah, this and The Martian were both 2015.
That's crazy. What are the odds?
I know, isn't that crazy? Anyways, yeah, thank you, Raheem Washwani, for requesting The Big Short. We're gonna talk about it now. Who wants to talk about it?
Dude, Tanner, you got The Big Short, dude. You got it, bro.
So The Big Short is about the 2008 housing crash and resulting recession. Except it's about a bunch of dudes who figured out that was going to happen, and so they shorted the market, which is a crazy thing you don't usually do, at least with the housing market. And yeah, I was just trying to present sort of an overview of the housing crash and how it happened and why, but in like a Hollywood like tight digestible package so that the average human being can actually like understand what the fuck just ruined their lives forever.
And it also had Selena Gomez in it.
It did have Selena Gomez in it, who isn't relevant anymore, but she was at the time.
Yeah, back then, who boy. Were you guys ever into Selena Gomez?
What?
Were you guys
No.
super into Selena Gomez at all?
No.
She's got a bit too much of a baby face, which I feel like we've mentioned before. Anyways, what'd you guys think of The Big Short?
Dude, this movie was initially kind of weird, and I definitely wasn't feeling the quote-unquote main guy who we were getting a look at. He seemed like, you know, like a bit of a weirdo. I definitely didn't feel like I could vibe with him very well, especially over the course of like a 2-hour film. But it turns out he's not really in it very much, and I like that a lot better. Pretty quickly, I feel like the quirky nature of this film grew on me, where it was like, oh boy, you want to learn about fucking checks and balances? Check out this guy cooking some samba over here, okay? He'll tell you all about him while he makes some salsa for you. And I thought that was pretty fun. I feel like they were able to really explain these pretty, like, you know, out there ideas in like really cohesive ways that just your layman can understand.
Jackson, what do you think?
I like this movie a lot more than I expected to. Like Nico said initially, I wasn't super into the vibe at the start of it, but I really got into it near the end. I was really fucking invested, to the point where I don't normally do this. When like people are fucking around not really paying attention to the movie, and me calling you guys out on doing that. But yeah, I like literally wanted to pay attention to the movie, to the point that I told you guys to shut the fuck up so I could pay attention to the movie, which really speaks a lot about how invested I was in it. I think they did a really good job of actually breaking down these pretty complex topics into a digestible way so that we could all understand what was going on. Like obviously I don't really know anything about a lot of this stuff. I was pretty into financy kind of stuff for a little bit during college, which may have helped with this. But yeah, I was really into it overall. I thought the acting was really solid. I think the cinematography was entertaining and pretty fun. I liked the cutouts to the celebrities explaining topics in fun ways. It was really entertaining overall. I enjoyed it a lot. I honestly don't really have a lot of gripes about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree where it feels a tad weak in the beginning, where it's kind of finding its footing, and also, I guess, getting us, the audience, used to the style of the film, the way it's presented. I wonder if on a second watch through, if the beginning would feel a lot better now that I'm like, okay, I get I get how they're presenting it and the little quirks and whatnot. We have 3 main storylines here. We have the one with Dr. Burry is the weakest one by far. He's just too quirked up, you know. He's just too much of a weirdo.
Dude, he played the drums, though. Did you see that? He played the drums.
Yeah. They should have... I don't know how they could have fixed it. Because, like, for all I know, this is, like, what he's actually like in real life. And so, like, well, fucking, like... I don't know.
Yeah, they bring him in and they're like, hey, so we're making this movie. It's going to be about like you, okay? You're going to be the main character. We feel like it would be bring great perspective if we could like like really sit down interview to find out like what you're all about. And just like, well, I like playing the drums. I like listening to loud music. Okay, yeah. What else are you into?
Well, he's almost doing like a fucking Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With
I'm
the way he
gonna be
speaks.
honest. I don't really see Burry as like that much of a problem with this movie at all. I think he does a good job portraying who, you know, he's supposed to be portraying some fucking guy with Asperger's who is kind of like a fucking quant who just like read a bunch of data, figure something out, and then had the balls to stick through it. I think it was cool. I like the scenes of him like going to these different banks and calling them, you know, like knowing exactly what's going to happen and like predicting it completely. I thought that was really cool and well done, and I think he does a good job just being some fucking weird autistic guy that made billions of dollars.
Dude, does he have autism?
Yeah, he has Asperger's.
He definitely has a touch of the tism.
What? Damn it, cut out everything we said negative about him before. We can't have that on here. Also, cut out all of our conversation about incest and... about incest
And also
and
cut out the
eugenics.
bigotry tier list. I feel like...
Yeah, let's maybe particularly cut out the part we talk about ableism and that. Let's leave out the rest, though. We can leave that in.
Let's scrap the episode.
Double the part we talk about... where we talk about transgender people. I feel like that's the part that will really get us a lot of clicks.
And then Mike Baum, the guy played by Steve Carell, that was obviously the standout storyline in this one. The third one was with Brad Pitt was like fine. It was just middle of the road for me. The bearded guy?
That was Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, Nico, you knew this, but...
No way, dude. No way that was Brad Pitt. There's no way.
Holy shit, it was fucking Brad Pitt. I had no idea.
That's fucking crazy.
You see, that's the great part. Brad Pitt can play good characters if they're like, hey, we're going to give you a character and not just make you Brad Pitt fighting zombies in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how to segue, so are we ready for rankings?
Dude, they should have made him fight zombies in this movie.
Yeah. And then use the zombies as an analogy for fucking stocks or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, all that shit was really fucked up, by the way. I can't believe that the government would just let that kind of shit slide and not, like, make anyone go to jail after all that bullshit. Dude, fuck the banks. I feel like this film really properly blackpilled me, you know? Like, I was starting to get, like, pretty anti-government there for a while, but I feel like it's all just fruitless at this point. Fuck the U.S. government. And every other government, for that matter, except for Thailand. I feel like they kind of have their shit figured out.
Thailand's government is so fucked up. What are you talking about?
Maybe Singapore.
Singapore's also pretty fucked up. They're like a surveillance state.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like a cool one.
Not really. I think you get like jailed if you like throw gum on the ground or something.
Yeah, which is fucking base, dude. I bet they would absolutely execute people who like don't put their card away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think they have shopping carts, but...
Dylan gave this movie a B+.
What? Dylan gave it a B+?
He did.
There's no fucking way.
He gave it a B+.
I think it's a good amount more than a B+. I would like to put this movie in S tier, but I don't think it deserves S tier for me.
Yeah.
I gave it an A+. It's right on the edge. I thought it was really entertaining, but I think there's definitely some stuff more they could have done with the cinematography. It kind of felt like I was watching an Office episode. And I feel like I wasn't super invested with like the two guys' story that were being helped by Brad Pitt. That was the weaker one for me, to be honest. But it wasn't that big of a deal. I still enjoyed the movie super thoroughly throughout the entire thing. But yeah, I'm gonna gatekeep it from S tier. At least.
There ain't no way that bearded guy was Brad Pitt. I'm gonna give it an A-, I think. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed this movie a fair bit.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Jackson. I'm very much like on the precipice of A+ to S-. I think I'm gonna go A+ on this one though.
Fair enough. And that puts us at an A overall.
Whoa.
which is pretty respectable. That was a pretty good movie. I think that's one of our better Patreon picks, figuring most of the ones we get are complete hot garbage.
Looking at you, Lucas Ledette.
Son of a bitch. Why do we get your movies so fucking often?
Shout out to Raheem for giving us a good movie. He's going to be very pleased that we liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm more interested in watching movies that are like this now. Anyways, that segues pretty cleanly into our next movie, which I also think was pretty solid overall. At least not bad. It was Dylan's pick of the week, The Martian.
The Martian.
He's not here, so I guess Nico, you want to tell us about The Martian?
Dude, do you want to tell us about The Martian?
I've got my own fucking movie to talk about.
I want to talk
this one
about
too?
your movie.
Why do you want to talk about my movie?
Dude, because it's going to be so
movie.
short.
I can actually explain the movie. You can. You fucking talk about The Martian.
Dude, I can also explain it, but like, you know, I feel like you can pretty easily summarize Skinamarink in like one sentence, you know, in like one sentence.
Demons.
Well, that's a word, but... Okay, so The Martian. The Martian's all about Matt Damon. He ends up getting left behind on Mars. Him and his posse are on Mars, but he gets left behind. So he has to figure out a way to survive on Mars. Fortunately for Matt Damon, he's a botanist. So he's able to just like take some potatoes and he starts growing that shit. And that's kind of it for a while. But then things start happening, okay? Things start happening as the NASA realizes, hang on a second. We thought Matt Damon was dead. He's actually alive. We gotta figure out a way to save Matt Damon. And hijinks ensue from there. Matt Damon tries to survive on Mars, and he generally does a pretty good job without very many complications. And then they find a way to save Matt Damon, and they send a probe back to him. His original posse, they come back for him to save Matt Damon, and he becomes Iron Man in the end. And he flies back into their cruiser, and he makes it back to Earth. That's the movie.
Nice.
This movie, I think, had a lot of potential, but I think it also has a lot of shortcomings.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely kind of squandered it a bit.
I think the biggest shortcoming of this movie is just how impossibly formulaic it is. Like, Nico did a pretty good job explaining it when we were watching the movie, but basically, good stuff happens for a while, and then something bad, catastrophic happens, and then he recovers, and then the cycle repeats the entire fucking movie.
And like generally he doesn't really struggle very much with any of the problems that come up either. He's just oh no! Anyway.
Especially once he got the support from NASA, there was basically like no tension at that point at all. It was kind of just like shit's happening, we're watching it happening. I think it was mostly just we're supposed to be like invested in like the politics of all of it. I don't really care that much about it though. I don't think it was very strong. Especially when they started leaning into the fucking quirky guy. I didn't care about him
when
at all
Childish Gambino shows up and he's like, hey guys, I think I found a way to figure things out. And then he does.
And then the ending of the movie was completely fucking retarded. It was super goofy and I don't think fit what the movie was going for at all.
Yeah.
It was trying to be like at least based in realism. That shit was fucking so dumb.
Yeah, I think those tonal issues are the major problem where like for probably like an 85-90% of this movie, it's like a very serious, like it's scientific, it's, you know, we're trying to be realistic, what would happen if a astronaut was actually trapped on Mars, and we're trying to do this, that, and the other, you know, we're like doing real-time space travel and all this shit, and then they just throw goofy nonsense in here and there for no reason. I complained about Donald Glover the most. I just was like, dude, why is this character in this movie?
Yeah.
Does this really feel like the movie that needed like the quirky black math nerd?
Dude, he provides a little bit of levity, bro.
I thought the levity that Matt Damon himself was doing was fine. I like that stuff, but yeah, the Donald Glover, and then also, like Jackson mentioned, how just fucking goofy and ridiculous and like not believable at all the entire ending sequence is. It really took me out of the movie, frankly.
Yeah, I thought it was really fucking stupid. It would make my, like, stomach drop several times throughout that entire, like, segment where he's, like, floating around in space and shit. It's like, he's not secured at all. Like, one bad thing happens, he's just flying through space for the rest of his life, okay? This shit is fucked up. I don't like space at all. It's scary.
Space is scary. I want to watch... Isn't there, like, a movie where it's literally just, like, some chick that got trapped in space and she's just, like, floating around for a while?
Yeah, it's like Gravity.
Gravity. I want to watch that at some point, too. I'm going to put that on my list.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock in it.
And I think a big problem with why it feels formulaic is, like, obviously, in the, like, year plus I was on this planet, there were a lot of tasks he was doing but it montages through a lot of it or just skips it. So, like, the only time we're shown him doing something is when something is going to go horribly wrong.
Yeah. At the very least, they did make him super fucking anemic at the very end of the movie, so that was pretty nice.
Yeah,
You guys got to have some body representation finally.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what more of our Hollywood stars need to start looking like, so people start being interested in me, dude.
Right?
If Matt Damon anemic was like the modern day sex symbol, I'd be getting so much poo-tang.
That's true. You should start showing girls The fucking Machinist. See how they feel about that.
Yeah, there we go. Point at the screen. That's literally me.
That's literally me.
Let's talk about some positives, though. I think the set was pretty cool overall. I really liked the sequences of him actually doing the science stuff, setting up the potatoes and all that for the first time, grabbing the fucking isotope for warmth and stuff. I think there was some, I mean, not really. I'm sure a lot of it's kind of like bullshitty pseudoscience stuff, but I think there was at least a little bit of education to be had in this movie.
Yeah, I definitely think there were like quite a few moments where we'd like ask like, is that really how that works? And everyone else would be like, I simply don't know. And I really appreciate that it was able to like, bring us together in our ignorance,
Yeah, I think the acting was pretty good overall. I think the performances are pretty well done. Obviously, it was a really well shot movie. This is like a big budget film, so you kind of expect it to be. Overall, I think it's a pretty competent film that just suffered a lot from a pretty formulaic plot and, a dumbass fucking ending with like a weird B plot going on too. That wasn't as
right.
Yeah, like that fucking old man NASA dude. He didn't really grab me at all, I'd say.
Dude didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And like he kept fucking things up, and he was like, "Look, man, I'm the big NASA boss. What I say goes. You're fired." And it's like, you've been fucking things up this entire movie. Why should I care about anything you have to say, man?
Yeah. I like how he literally directly caused the explosion of the supply ship, which is a massive failure. And then, like, immediately next up, the other guy is trying to let the fucking, the people on the ship in space have a bit of, autonomy over their actions. And he's gonna be like, I'm gonna fucking fire you if you do anything that risky. And you're like, dude, what do you mean? You just cost millions and millions of dollars for a stupid mistake.
Dude, that wasn't his money. That was the taxpayers.
Oh, yeah, literally.
Based and red-pilled. Anything else?
Dude, I was so fucked up at the end when they showed that fucking redhead girl, and we all thought it was fucking Howard Woman, but it ended up not being Howard Woman.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah, that was fucked up, dude.
That was fucked up. It really looked like
It looked just like her.
It was crazy.
Oh, I like how, obviously, the main character guy went through a pretty traumatic event and also was kind of a badass throughout it, but I still think it's pretty goofy that, like, the ending scene is him in some fucking classroom basically just jacking himself off. That was pretty dumb. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I feel like it was in line with his character as we saw it throughout the movie.
Yeah, I would agree, but it's still, I don't know. I feel like it's... I don't know, it just didn't sit well for me.
It just rubbed him the wrong way.
And of course, given the last film, I have to mention I thought Brad Pitt was pretty good in this one too.
Yeah, I thought that he really played his part pretty well.
Just like he did in Skinamarink, I think he did a good job with that in that as well.
Yeah.
He was a great demon, dude. What can I say? Speaking of... Wait, we have to do the ranking.
Yeah, we did. So Dylan gave this movie an A tier.
A tier?
Hey, which I definitely wouldn't put it above The Big Short personally. I think... I think I'm going to give it a B+.
Okay. I'm also at an A tier.
I also gave it a B+. There are two wolves in the Guapish cast. A givers and B+ givers. And that puts us at an A- overall.
Whoa.
That's crazy. Who would have predicted?
Fair enough. I definitely think this is a worse movie than The Big Short.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. And that moves on to our final film, and maybe even the most controversial this week. Skinamarink, 2023 Skinamarink. I'm going to do my best to explain what was happening within the plot. Regardless, Nico is probably going to be like, some demon shit happens or something. There's actually shit that happens in this movie. It's obviously trying to tell a story. Clearly, it's not just an hour and 20 minutes of being boring as fuck, even though it also is that.
I know that it's trying to tell a story, but ultimately what this movie is about is there are kids in a spooky house with a demon.
Alright, so basically, the start of the movie kicks off with a child falling down the stairs and the parents rushing to try to, salvage this situation. And then when the child wakes up, Him and he's basically just alone in his house. Again, I guess I should preface that this movie we're looking at it from the perspective of the boy child. I don't know what his fucking name.
Well, not all. Sometimes it's just pointing at a wall.
Correct, but primarily the perspective we're seeing is from the child, the male child.
Kevin.
Let's call him Harold.
Kevin, yeah. Kevin.
But
Kevin
his
and Harold.
name is Kevin.
Anyways, Kevin, yeah. So basically, he falls down the stairs. He wakes up in a house with his sister. All the fucking doors and the windows are gone. He is trying to figure out what's going on. He's trying to find his parents. He eventually goes, or no, it's the sister. I think he's like fucking playing with toys or some shit downstairs. And the sister goes upstairs to try to find the parents. And this is probably like the best scene in the whole movie, where she goes up there, sees her dad. The dad tells her to like look under the fucking bed. Doesn't see anything. She looks back up. Her mom is up there. She gives like some kind of speech about. It kind of sounds like a divorce speech, and like it's not your fault kind of thing. And then the mom does some demon shit. Daughter goes back downstairs. The kids play and like fall asleep again. Kevin wakes up. His sister's gone. He goes into the basement to look for her. He finds that she's been like taken over by the demon or something, because she like took her mouth in her face and shit. He's freaked out. He runs back upstairs. Demon wants to play with him. He doesn't want to play with the demon. Demon makes him fucking poke his eye out with a knife, so he does, because it's a demon. And then the second half of the movie...
I thought the demon had the girl take her eye out.
No, it was the boy. The girl was in the basement. Kevin went down to check on her, and then he ran back upstairs because he was scared. And then once he stabbed himself, that's kind of like when the second half of the movie kind of kicks in, where everything just kind of flips upside down, and weird shit starts happening more. The demon like really just wants him to go upstairs again, so he does. Kevin, goes upstairs. The whole fucking house is upside down. We get that really long panning shot of a bunch of shit in the fucking corner, and then like 556 days or whatever pops up on the screen. And then Kevin goes back downstairs to try to like look for his parents again. He sees his mom's face, without a face in the darkness. She says some shit, and then the movie ends. And that's basically Skinamarink in a nutshell. Within all of this happening, there's also like many minutes of just nothing fucking happening. Just looking at a wall or some shit, or like a random creepy, spooky imagery. So what do you guys think this movie's trying to portray? There's a lot of interpretations.
I mean, yeah, you can interpret it in many different ways. Because, like, initially when, like, little boy Kevin falls down the stairs, we do get a phone call of his, like, father on the phone with somebody, and he's being like, yeah, Kevin, he fell down the stairs at the hospital. He seems fine, though. It's okay. He's not really injured. We didn't even need stitches, guys. We didn't even need stitches. And... well, why that scene exactly is in the movie could be pretty up in the air. Potentially, he actually died, and like this is some weird limbo situation. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But yeah, it's definitely seeming like there's some sort of a demon that's in the house with them, and it's just kind of fucking with them now. It's just kind of like, okay, I get this house all to myself, and these are my little playthings. Time to just like murder them endlessly for days and days on end as the years pass by, and they're still children, so they can literally do nothing here, okay? Because, like, that's, like, one of the scariest parts of this, is that, like, this is from the perspective of children, and they are very small children as well. So, like, we see them, like, using flashlights and shit throughout this movie, because they're really small and they can't even reach the fucking light switches. Which, like, that's a terrifying prospect. But at the same time, like, this movie is so fucking long, and it does not need to be this long whatsoever. Like, I get it, it's building up tension and stuff like that. We don't need this much tension being built up. You can easily cut out, like, probably fucking half an hour of this movie, and it'll be all the better for it,
I think there's literally, like, it's not like a director's cut, but there's somebody, I'm pretty sure, made a cut of this movie where they basically chop off, like, 20 minutes of content or something from it, and apparently that's a much more entertaining and concise experience.
Gotcha, okay.
I'm gonna read the one big note I wrote on this movie, which I feel like pretty well captures my problem with it, which is... the story seems interesting, but the way that story was communicated leaves it muddled and far less compelling than it could be. And this really... I wrote that down way earlier, so I already thought, but as Jackson was going over the plot synopsis, it was really showing me how true that sentence is, because I caught some of the things here and there of what was going on in the movie, but a lot of the specifics that Jackson was mentioning, I was like, oh, is that what was going on? I couldn't even tell.
I think this is a good time for me to go out and say that I did, in fact, watch this movie again. I told you guys that I was going to probably do this because I don't think we watched it in a very good way. We're three dudes fucking around, not really paying attention, cracking jokes the whole time. That's the opposite of what you should be watching this movie and like as an experience, because it's really hard to immerse yourself into like the kind of world. We weren't paying attention. We were missing a lot of shit. I think my second watch of this movie was substantially better than the first one. I definitely got caught up a little bit in the atmosphere of it all. I obviously saw a lot more of what was happening, and I actually kind of like pieced together what was going on, which was fun. It was actually a pretty enjoyable experience the second time, I'm going to be completely honest. Mostly just because you can, like, throughout the entirety of it, you're getting bits and pieces of what's going on. You can kind of try to piece together the story, try to, like, theorize exactly what's happening, which I think is an entertaining watching experience. I definitely still think it has its downfalls. Obviously, it's way too fucking long. And the story is just like super fucking hard to follow. But I think it's pretty okay overall from a general standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like part of the fucking analog horror genre in general, is that for the most part the stories tend to be not like super clear. You're supposed to like think about it a lot, kind of piece things together, like go to other people, figure out what they thought and stuff like that. And yeah, that's definitely something that's felt a lot in this movie. It's a lot less about the story itself and more so about your general experience with it, about just kind of being immersed in this like super creepy atmosphere and stuff like that, but at the same time not a particularly huge fan of just how much time you really need to like sink into it for that. I don't think that it really benefits the film much from that.
I feel like a big problem with this movie too is that honestly I think the atmosphere in this movie is pretty well done, because that's really all it has going for it throughout most of it. But like the scary parts, I don't know, people were saying like the scary parts were like really scary, but I feel like the minor moments of, actual horror, like with the mom reaching out her hand, or the fucking faces in the darkness, or like the phone doing like a jump scare on you, that shit wasn't scary at all. It's just fucking like startled spookiness. I don't think that shit was well done at all. I've seen a decent amount of like analog horror stuff just because pops up on YouTube. And it's all that type of stuff. It's just like loud noise, sudden creepy face type shit, and it just doesn't work for me at all. I think it's like the lowest hanging fruit of horror.
Because like that kind of shit, it's not fucking scary at all. It's just kind of there to startle you. Like saying that fucking horror movie that's like, it keeps jump scaring you. Saying something like that is scary is like, I don't know, fucking like going to see like a stand-up comedian and he comes up and he tickles you. Like they're achieving what they're setting out for, but it's a really cheap way of doing it.
That's what I was mentioning when we were watching, where I was like, a lot of the scares in here, it's like they're using the shortcut to getting a reaction out of you, which is loud noise and sudden movement of like a weird looking thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I can, I could, if tonight while you guys are sleeping, I, snuck into your room and then fucking, like, punched you in the face and screamed at the top of my lungs, you'd probably be pretty startled.
Yeah.
Is that, like, some great accomplishment? Am I some great, maestro of horror now? No, of course not.
Are you guys going to give the movie any credit at all for what it did with its budget?
Sure. That's, like, the hardest thing here for me, is that, like, this is made by, like, a single fucking YouTuber, and, like, fucking, I want to like at least like, acknowledge that like, hey, this is like a great accomplishment and stuff like that, but like I just don't really like the end product very much, so it's hard for me to like really recommend this movie at all.
Yeah, I would agree. This movie is impossible to recommend. I've been recommending it to people constantly as a joke recently because I think it's funny. Like, they're like, you should check out this cool horror movie I saw, Skidmore. It's pretty entertaining. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll check that out. And then it's just this. And like, what the fuck is this? I think I really wish we had Dylan here too, because I'm curious what his actual, like, obviously...
I want to know his thoughts so bad. Should we have him record his thoughts on this movie?
I mean, I feel like pretty much what he's going to say is that, so a big thing with Dylan, he apparently had to watch this movie like 3 times because he kept falling asleep while watching it. I'm sure he's just going to say it's really fucking boring and like not really anything happens. He might say that it scared him a little bit, maybe, but I don't think that he'll delve too much further into it beyond that.
Big question, boys. Do you guys think he actually ended up watching the whole movie, or did he just like watch a little bit and be like, this is fucking stupid? And
yeah, I feel like there's a pretty solid chance he just kind of skipped through it. It's tough to say. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt too, and just believe him on trying it 3 times and getting her done.
Yeah.
But yeah, just from his rank, I can tell he probably was not super hot in this movie. I feel like my ranking's still pretty rough on this shit, but it's probably the best from you guys. And I think that's mostly just because I went and watched it again, and I'm not gonna say it's like how you should have watched it, because but just like
I mean, I do think that's the ideal way to watch this film.
Yeah, enveloping yourself in the atmosphere, not just being like with a bunch of dudes fucking around watching some goofy movie and clowning at the whole time.
Yeah. I feel like even without doing that, I can still understand what they're trying to do here with this film. And with that said, guys, do you want to get onto the ratings here?
I suppose so.
All right, so
crack us off with Dylan giving an F.
Yes.
That's a bit far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
What would you say is a solid ranking in your opinion then, Tanner?
I gave this one a C-.
C-.
Never mind. I thought I was going to be the lowest ranked, or the highest ranked one. As it turns out, I was wrong.
Okay.
I do not. We all rated the FNAF movie C-. I do not think this movie's better than the FNAF movie. Regardless of everything that I think it did well, it does so much wrong that I cannot put it above that movie. Even like some more like generic fucking horror movies, like I Know What You Did Last Summer and Pandorum and shit. I think the wasted time and just like I don't know, being analog horror and not really being that scary are really detrimented a lot. I give it a D+ personally.
Yeah. It's so hard because, like I said, I want to rank this movie higher just because of like kind of what it stands for, but at the end of the day I can't do that because it just doesn't deserve it, that's the big problem here. I think D+ is probably a good rank for it. I'll go D+.
Honestly, this is higher than I expected to be. I honestly thought I was going to be like the only one that like didn't rate it somewhere in the F tier or like low D. So this is pretty good. This was an entertaining watch, boys. Let's go. I put it at a D.
There we go.
Still
Nice.
pretty fucking rough. It's right down there next to 8-Legged Freaks and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, that kind of sounds about right,
Yeah,
actually.
I'd say so. However, guys, recently Dylan also ended up going and watching the FNAF movie. Jackson, do you have his ranking here
God.
available?
I think he gave it a B-.
I think he did as well. Let's assume he gave it a B-.
I thought he gave it a flat B.
Well, now that you
Dude.
say that, Tanner, we have to go and hunt down his rating.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's B-, but we'll find it, dude. We'll find it.
Oh, we'll find.
Yeah, he said B-. He said like a B-, so that could be anything. Maybe it's a B.
It could be anything, but
We're just gonna assume it's B-.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Which changes the FNAF movies ranking from a C- to a C.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
I really want to hear his reasoning for giving it a B-. I am surprised he didn't go with the easy choice of just saying just.
Yeah. But alas. In the meantime, though, Jackson, what movies are we watching next week from that fucking Patreon we got going?
This week we are going to be watching Rocky as recommended by Mr. Pata, the 1976 film.
Thank you, Mr. T.
I believe his official name is Macho Man Retard Savage, actually.
Uh-huh.
It's always something.
Rocky's a good one. I can't wait to see Rocky. I fucking love Rocky.
Holy smokes.
Have you guys seen Rocky?
No.
I know that he yells Adrian.
Have you actually not seen Rocky, Nico?
No.
That's fucking crazy.
Right. I don't watch many movies outside of Guapish at the movies.
That movie was recommended 3 months ago.
Jesus.
Whoa.
One of our older ones. Alright, what are you guys picking?
Speaking of movies you love, Tanner, what movie are you picking, dude?
So, for the month of November, my picks will be Netflix Originals. I am doing Netflix Original November. And so for this week, I'm going to be choosing...
Tall Girl?
No, not familiar with that one. I'm going to be choosing The Ridiculous Six, the Adam Sandler Western comedy.
That's a Netflix original?
It is.
I had no idea. That's pretty silly. Can't wait to check that one out. I, on the other hand, am going to be picking... Have we had any disaster movies so far?
I guess you could maybe say that, what's that one with the fucking monsters that attack, like, New York?
Godzilla?
Oh,
No.
Cloverfield?
Cloverfield, yeah. I feel like you could maybe say Cloverfield's a disaster
Cloverfield
movie.
is... I'd say Cloverfield isn't a disaster movie. So I'm very interested. Which one? Will it be 2012? Will it be Deep Impact? Will it be fucking Moonfall?
It is Moonfall, Tanner. Congratulations.
This is the Chinese one, right?
No.
No, I'm thinking of something else.
You are thinking of something else.
I do have a Chinese, like, propaganda film on my list to watch because I think it'll be very fucking funny.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm actually looking forward to this week. This sounds like a great week of, one good and two very bad movies.
You think Moonfall's gonna be bad, dude?
I think Moonfall is going to be dog shit. I think there's a good chance Moonfall is going to be worse than Ridiculous 6.
Dude, ain't no fucking way.
Are there any good disaster movies? I don't think I've ever heard anything good about a disaster movie.
Moonfall.
They're just... But this one, I'm looking it up right now, and it looks so mid just from the reviews.
I think people always say that disaster movies are fun. I don't know if anyone's ever claimed that they're good. What's that one with Bruce Willis and the asteroid? I think people say that one is good.
Asteroid Mania.
Yeah, sure. Well, anyway, you heard it here first, folks. We're watching 1976's Rocky, and then Moonfall and The Ridiculous 6.
I'm so pumped. And Tanner, if people want to request movies themselves, where do you think that... but what could they even do to accomplish such a task?
Well, they just have to go to patreon.com/Guapish and subscribe for only $1 a month, where they will then be given access to our Discord, where they can talk to us, they can request movies, they can even send in topic requests, and we'll fucking talk about the shit they want us to talk about. And they also get 500 slime coins, early access to every episode, and access to our pre-Guap show, and they get their name read out at the end of every episode, just like I'm about to do. Thank you to Raheem Rajawani, Kyler Nikolai, I Think Shimi is an overall better cat than Mochi, this is not a Patreon name, Top Ramen Man, Joshua Bean, Macho Man Retard Savage, Tutbot, Lucas Ledette, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards.
And I especially love you, Joshua Bean. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.